Welcome, everybody. It is after 6 o'clock on Tuesday, May 7th of 2024. This is the day and time set for the Westland Planning Commission meeting for May of 2024. At this time, we'd politely ask that you rise and join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you very much. Administration, roll call, please.
Durante, Folks,
Present.
Hobbs.
Present.
Welcome, Hobbs. Hopkins. Present. Rappaport.
Present.
Richards. Present. Rounds.
Present.
Stachow.
Present.
And Swokas.
Present.
Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes for the April 2nd, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
So moved by Commissioner Swokas, supported by Vice Chair Richards. A roll call, please.
Roll call vote approving the April 2nd regular meeting minutes. Folks.
Yes.
Hobbs is abstaining. Hopkins. Yes. Rappaport.
Yes?
Richards.
Yes.
Rounds.
Yes.
Stachow.
Yes.
And Swokas.
Yes.
Your minutes are approved.
Thank you very much. On to the next item. The next item is citizen comments. If anybody, we have at the podium, we should have minutes available. If you have anything that you would like to add to the minutes, this is your opportunity to do so. At this time, would anybody in the audience like to add something to the minutes that doesn't already appear? Hearing none, we'll move on to our action agenda for this evening. I've been made aware that we have some individuals who've traveled a great distance to be here. Do I have an appropriate motion?
Yes.
Recognizing Ruby Richards for a orders of the day.
Yes, I move to move case number 1707J to number 1 and move number 1 to 1A.
Is there a second?
Support.
Wow, I have so many supports.
Deanna.
We have a motion on the floor to relocate item 7 to item 1 and item 1 to 1A, made by Richards and supported by,
Deanna.
let's choose Hopkins. At this time, I'll take this motion by consent. Is there any opposition on my left? Any opposition on my right?
No.
By unanimous consent, the motion is adopted. And if there are no further issues with the order of the agenda, we will proceed directly with case number 1707J. Anybody? Hearing none. Now calling case number 1707J, proposed rezoning from PUD, planned unit development, to CB1, low-intensity commercial business district. Administration, can we hear a little bit about this?
Thank you, Chairman. The subject property here comprises of about 17 acres. It's split zoned currently. That red line on your screen represents the property where it's split zoned. We have CB1 on your right-hand side and PUD, that's our planned unit development, on your left-hand side. There's a single-family dwelling that appears to be, that is unoccupied. At the time of writing the staff report, I was not aware whether it was occupied or not, but I learned that it is currently unoccupied. The petitioner is proposing to rezone the portion that is zoned PUD, the left-hand portion, to CB1 in order to facilitate the development of a skilled nursing home that will also provide rehabilitation, physical therapy services for both inpatient and outpatient services. Property to the north, this is the zoning map here, is zoned R5 single family residential. That property is vacant. Property to the south is also zoned R5 and also vacant. That's south of Marquette. Properties to the east are zoned CB1, low-intensity commercial business, and developed with single-family dwellings. And properties to the west, zoned PUD, they are developed by the Abbeys of Westland. And also, we have a SPD special plan development where the Marquette House and assisted living community exists. The future land use designation for this property is single-family residential. The zoning ordinance requires the Planning Commission to make certain findings during a rezoning. One of the suitability of the property in question for the uses permitted under the existing zoning classification. So we know that this property is zoned PUD for a previously approved mixed-use development as part of the original Westland Regional Senior Campus special development. It was actually approved on October 4th of 1990. The subject property has been vacant for many years since then and is not likely to be developed consistent with that previously approved plan. That plan included a regional senior campus with residential buildings, an Alzheimer's center, a wellness center, and one shopping center. In the file for this property were also some conversations about the Abbeys also having an extension built on this property, I believe phase 3, but that also has never happened. Next, the trend of development, if any, in the general area of in question, including changes, if any, in zoning in the general area. There have been no major developments or rezonings in this immediate area. Recently, the city did demolish the former Grindstone building to the north, which is an old blighted restaurant that became vacant after a fire and sat blighted after the fire for numerous years. Next, we have the objectives of the City of Westland Master Plan. That's one of the key elements we look at when we're reviewing rezonings. And the 2018 Master Plan, as mentioned earlier, indicates this property for residential uses. The proposed rezoning to accommodate a skilled nursing facility, I believe, and the administration believes is consistent with this objective. Nursing homes provide high level of medical care for seniors who need 24/7 support, and their environments are more like homes with senior rooms typically furnished with personal items. There might need to be some consideration about the CB1 district allowing for other uses that are not wholly residential, but we believe this specific use does align with the future land use designation. That's essentially my presentation. The director and the architect are here from Cleveland, Ohio, able to answer any questions. The administration and planning department are recommending approval of this petition, and I'd be happy to answer any questions as well. There is a concept plan of what the site will look like. It's on your screen right now for the Planning Commission and the audience at home. Thank you.
Thank you very much, administration. This is a public hearing, so we are going to be asking for comments from the audience. But first, we'd like to have our petitioner rise and come to the podium, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mark Cohen, President, North Coast Architects.
And Mr. Cohen, you obviously heard the presentation of the administration. Do you have anything to add?
Mr. Ayub did a fine job. giving you the facts, obviously. The intent, as stated, is to get the rezoning to allow the special use designation to allow us to develop a nursing home facility. These are developed, owned, and operated by the parent company, Progressive Quality Care. There are 10 Avenue projects in northeastern Ohio that are open and operational currently, with one additional going through planning approval process right now for building permit. And there are 2 currently under construction in Michigan, one in Holland and one in Holland Township, with the hope of continuing to develop and grow the product here throughout other areas of Michigan and using Westland as the next position.
Thank you very much. If you could please have a nearby seat, we'll call you back up when the board has questions for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, this is a public hearing, and we have a letter that was sent in by resident Connie Camillo. Is Connie present? Connie, we'd love to hear from you. Would you like to rise and come to the podium?
Yes, I'm not going to stop progress. I'd like to know how it compares with the Marquette House that we have right there. What's the difference? They give skilled care.
We'll certainly have the petitioner address that question, and hopefully it's to your satisfaction. If it's not, just make sure I'm aware that you have continuing questions after he speaks.
Okay, are you here to question me, or am I here to question you?
You are absolutely here to ask us questions, and we're here to hear your voice and your opinion, and more importantly, we're here to provide a forum so that our petitioner can hear your voice and your opinion.
Okay. What we're concerned with is how deep you're going to go from Wayne Road into the Abbeys, and if there will still be woods that separate us from this skilled care unit. And that's what I would like addressed. And so it doesn't overtake the Abbeys. And how many levels, how many stories this building will be? Those are the questions that I and some of my other people, friends that live in the Abbeys, are concerned with. We don't want to be looking at the back of buildings with dumpsters and garbage and that kind of thing. So that's what we're here to kind of get the information. Okay, I think that's about what we need to know. And if they could speak and address those questions, we'd be grateful.
Thank you very much, Connie.
And I'd like a souvenir from the house. There are glass doorknobs. I'd like a doorknob.
If I'm not sure that the house is scheduled to be demolished or done anything to with this proposal. However, I'm pretty sure if you were to contact the director of building and planning, he could make sure that you could secure that, even if the house isn't going to be demolished.
Okay, we saw the garage door open yesterday. We wondered who was there.
I really couldn't speak to that.
I know. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any additional citizens' comments on my right? Any additional citizens' comments on my left? Seeing none, if I can have the petitioner please rise. If you can, before I turn it over to the commission, if you could address Connie's concerns.
Happy to. First of all, the existing building on the west side of Campus Drive, the Marquette House, is an assisted living facility. We're planning on building a skilled nursing facility. And in actuality, it's the perfect marriage or relationship. It's one of the things that attracts us to the property. It works as a feeding system for the nursing home, and it provides a continuum of care for residents, for people who are in the community to be able to stay in the community as they move from the assisted living portion of their life to needing more assistance. So we see it as a good opportunity for us as the developer and owner of the property, as well as for the community to be able to have that continuum of care and being able to move so that family members who come to visit people, they're basically still in the same area. And the other thing that attracts us to this is the idea that there is residential around it. We try to feel that we're more of a residential facility as an institutional facility. Our building is 1 story. It's built to have, it is larger than a home, obviously, but it's built to have residential character in the materials that we use: brick, stone, siding. We have pitched roofs with asphalt shingle, and we put in details in the outside, so it has a residential character to it. So that's important to us. The location that is proposed, that we're looking at putting it, actually allows the facility to utilize Campus Drive, which, while it's a private road, it's half on this piece of property and half on another piece of property, and there is an access easement for the Marquette, for the residential units, and for this property. So we see that as a benefit, but at the same time, taking into consideration the concern of service coming into the facility. I don't know, Mr. Ayub, if you can put that back up. I know this isn't a site plan approval, this is only a rezoning, but I will point out, since it was questioned, the northeast corner is the service drive and the service location. So the building actually blocks that area. That's Campus Drive on the left. On the right, where the parking lot is, in that area kind of tucked in right there, is the service court. So it'll be blocked from view from the residential units that are off to the left. And that was taken into consideration when we were doing that. We understand that this is a very heavily wooded site, can't be developed without removing trees. Obviously, the area where the building goes will be, but we also take great pride in doing a lot of landscaping, both not just for the community, but for our residents who are on property. I didn't mention that this is a 98 resident suite. They're all private units, and the level of finishes and things, they have individual bathrooms for each suite that has a full shower, granite countertops, little refrigerator, flat screen TV, all the things to try to give it a homey residential feel. That's very important to establish that type of setup. I think that hit everything. If I missed anything, let me know. I'm happy to.
Absolutely. Recognizing the administration for a brief comment.
Just wanted to mention to the residents in attendance today that we will have another meeting related to the site plan that we will receive at a later time from you when you're all set to submit it. It will be much detailed than this concept drawing. It will have the landscaping on it. It will have the elevation drawing on it to show you what the building will look like when you're staring at it or looking at it, and a lot of other details that we can observe and look at during the meeting whenever you submit that. Do you have an anticipated timeline for submittal?
There's a lot of work that has to be done based on your regulations, a lot of civil work, a lot of site work still has to be done for the survey of the property and the tree survey that's required. So we're probably still a couple months away from coming back for both the site plan approval and the special use approval, which we'll do at the same time.
And the residents will get noticed similar to how you were noticed for this meeting today.
Okay. Well, it's not the time for citizens' comments. That has already passed. I understand. To the commission on my right, anybody would like to speak on this matter? Recognizing Vice Chair.
I just want to agree with Ms. Connie that progress and growth there is Hello, can you hear me? I'm sorry. I just wanted to say I agree with Ms. Connie about progress and growth there, because I think that would be awesome, because I go past there a lot since I've been here 14 years, and to see some growth there would be awesome, Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else on my right? Anybody on my left? I'm recognizing from the far to the close, starting with Deanna Steschau.
Yes, hi, good evening. Thank you for investing in our city. I too am a lover of trees and natural habitat. And I can understand the concerns because it does give peace and quiet to the residents in the area. Is there any way that you can retain a portion of this landscape without having to redo it? Or is this going to be all parking lot, recreation area, whatever you have going within the boundaries of that area?
This is a point of order. We're not investigating the appropriateness of a site plan at this point. We're
Yes.
only determining the
Yes.
appropriateness of a zoning change.
Yeah.
That is an appropriate question for a site plan, which we will actually have moving forward if
Okay.
if this
Well, he did
petition comes back for it.
mention something in regards to that, and I
I-
do appreciate your comment, but that was,
I appreciate it. I'd just like
Okay.
to keep us focused on task.
all right, well, we will take that up next time then. Thank you.
Are there any additional comments on my left, specifically to the issue of rezoning, please?
Well, a little bit, maybe. Since you did explain that this was not zoning and all that, but I did have a quick question. Since I do live in the Abbeys, and this will affect me, I'm not on that side, but I walk over there all the time. So, just one quick question. Now, your frontage will be, your front door will be on the Wayne Road side, right? I know that's,
The front of the
front, I'm
building
looking at
actually
it.
will be on the Marquette side.
Marquette side.
There's a, that front parking area, there's
Okay.
a porte-cochere right in that lower right corner of the building. That would be the entrance into the building.
okay. I'm just curious, why did you pick Westland, since, you know, you have units in Ohio? Why Westland? Well, just curious.
Opportunity to expand operation into what we think are markets that need additional nursing homes. I mean, I have the executive director from Progressive Quality Care, Carl Holbrook, who could answer more specific if there's need to regarding that. But it's, you know, they do due diligence. They look at properties all over the state and looking at communities along, you know, the suburb outside ring of Detroit that you know, need facilities and are good opportunities for them being the developer owner and for the communities.
Okay, thank you. I'm done.
Thank you. Recognizing Commissioner Swokas.
I just wanted to say, thank you for considering Westland. I did a little investigation to see kind of what's going on in Ohio, and being that we do have an aging population here in Westland, I mean, I'm Generation X, and I'm just a few years from 60, and, you know, my mom is still alive and kicking at 77. I think it's always good to have skilled nursing, and in my lifetime, I've had a lot of exposure to working with skilled nursing facilities through some volunteer capacities, and I think for this spot, I think you picked a great spot for it in a great part of town, and I'm pretty excited about what you're doing, and I have no doubt moving forward when you pull your site plan together that you'll work with residents and work with our director and that, and create the most beautiful situation as soon as possible, you know, to not only please residents and that, but also to just, you know, build a value to your business, because you are in business. And of course, I know that probably more than anyone, our senior population is much more conscious about having something nice to look at. I mean, nobody wants to look at buildings or concrete or anything like that. And I'm just comfortable with it. But I think this is an ideal use for this, and I'll definitely be supporting the change in zoning, and when it's time, I'll be happy to make the motion.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Swokas. So I had a couple of comments. So the first one is, so it appears to me that there's this L-shaped property. The lower portion of the L, that fronts on Wayne Road, correct?
Wayne Road is to the right, correct?
And the house that our citizen Connie is concerned about is on that little square portion of that property?
Correct.
This really would not affect the zoning, except that's evidence that this property was originally intended for residential use. Is there a plan to remove that house? Or is that likely to be left
Honestly,
until?
there hasn't been any discussion that I'm aware of with doing anything with that house at this time. It surely isn't affected by the development that we're planning on doing at this time. However, if it's vacant, eventually it becomes an eyesore, and even if you maintain it and it's vacant, it becomes dollars to maintain something that, so, I mean, there surely can be discussion on going forward. I can have conversations with my client and say what they want to do, but at this time, I'm unaware of any plans specifically.
All right, well, once again, it's not really relevant to the zoning, but it was the concern, the expressed concern of one of our residents that I guess it's just appropriate for this commission to ask you to be sensitive that there is a resident who has an emotional tie to that building and to treat it with the proper reverence, of course.
Understand.
The other thing that I wanted to mention is about zoning. I'm not entirely certain that, I'm usually in lockstep with the opinion of the administration. I'm not entirely certain that that this proposal is in line with our master plan. I'm very disarmed with your description of the planned facility, that it's going to be very home-like. My concern, which I only want to air, is that developing this or rezoning it to a commercial property may make the property harder to develop in the event that your facility doesn't last forever. And the reason being is that usually commercial properties are preferred to front on major thoroughfares, and this obviously does not. I don't want to belabor that point. It's just one I wanted to air. It's a concern that I have. So please don't fail.
No, of course, that's not what we're planning on doing. Let me just note, though, that you do have a portion of the property that is CB1 already that does front on both Wayne and Marquette. We're just adding to that piece, so you really do have the frontage of the CB1 on, if you consider North Wayne a main thoroughfare, then it really does have what you're looking for. Thank you very much.
And the last thing I wanted to say before I called for a motion on this, you mentioned about the use of the private drive, Campus Road. Would you be contacting the owner of the private road, or the owner or owners of the private road to contribute to its upkeep? Is that in your plan?
So my understanding from talking with our legal counsel is that the three properties that abut that have the access easement, and our understanding always in going into these types of arrangements is that it's a shared responsibility for the maintenance and upkeep of that road, which obviously, as we develop that, we'd be in contact with the other parties to make sure that that's all formulated, and that's surely the plan, is that Obviously, as a private road, they're upkeeping it now, so having us in it just will have another person to help contribute to that maintenance and upkeep.
All right. So a lot of these are going to be rehashed when you come before us for a site plan, and I do apologize to my colleague. We occasionally get ahead of ourselves.
I
And
understand.
I am certainly long-winded. So at this time, I'm going to cut myself off and recognize Mr. Swokas for a motion on this matter.
Okay. I move that we close case 1707J, the proposed rezoning from planned unit development to CB1, low-intensity commercial business district, 1155 North Wayne Road, northeast corner of Wayne Road and Marquette, waiving the rules and forwarding this on to the city council with a recommendation for approval contingent upon all departmental requirements and recommendations.
Motion by Commissioner Swokas, supported. I think we already had that. Give me just a moment. Supported by Commissioner Hopkins. I'm still trying to get that. I'm so sorry. Roll call, please.
This is a roll call vote, recommending approval of case number 1707J. Folks?
Yes.
Hobbs?
Yes.
Hopkins? Rappaport?
Yes?
Richards?
Yes.
Rounds?
Yes.
Stachow?
Yes.
And Swokas.
Yes.
Your motion is approved.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your letting us jump up in the agenda this evening so we can get home and beat the storm, and your support, and look forward to continue working with all of you and the city of Westland. Thank you very much.
Returning to our regular order, I'm now calling the consideration of the request of the city of Westland. Can I please have the budget director? Oh, are you going to be examined from that seat?
I don't have a mic, but you're gonna be fine. That's fine.
Please feel free to approach the podium. Mr. Director, I assume that you do not need the assistance of other members of the administration for your proposal?
No.
Please continue.
Just have a quick summary to provide. So in your packet, there's the Westland 6-year capital improvement plan, which stems from July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2030. The capital improvement plan is part of the overall annual budget process, whereas part of the Michigan Planning Enabling Act, the capital improvement plan goes before the Planning Commission for approval and then goes to City Council in the annual budget. The capital improvement plan includes various equipment needs throughout the city, major and local road projects that include concrete and asphalt repairs or joint and crack sealing. And it also includes the water and sewer main repairs throughout the city based on the recommendations from the city's Department of Public Service Director and the city engineers. There's also a map included that shows the various projects throughout the city and where they are located, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing, so at this time, I'm going to ask you to step to the side. Is there anybody on my right that would like to comment on the budget director's proposal? Anybody on my left like to comment on the budget director's proposal? Seeing none, moving it to the commission. Anybody on my right?
I just have one.
Recognizing Ruby Richards.
Where it says City Hall and grounds, redo front entrance, lobby remodel, and police, what does that line mean?
Through the chair, so the City Hall and Grounds is the department that, I guess, requested that specific item. But it's for the police department's lobby to redo that for security reasons and to enhance the security for the police officers and the workers that work there.
Okay, so it's not for that front lobby, it's for the police lobby?
Correct, yep,
Okay.
yep. That was just the department that submitted it, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
That was my only question.
Anybody on my left like to address the budget director? No? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the budget director's proposal. Ms. Stashow?
The proposal and the consideration of the request for the City of Westland to review and recommend approval of the proposed capital improvement plan commencing fiscal year 2024-25. And Director Daniel Block.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Support.
Support, motion made by Commissioner Stashow, supported by Commissioner Swokas. Roll call, please.
Okay, this is a roll call vote. Recommending approval of the capital improvements plan as presented. Folks.
Yes.
Hobbs. Yes. Hopkins. Yes. Rappaport.
Yeah.
Richards.
Yes.
Rounds. Yes. Stachow.
Yes.
And Swokas.
Yes.
Congrats, Dan. Your CIP plan is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to case number 2. Item 2 on our agenda, case number 0954C, special land use approval for a marijuana micro business at 39127 Ford Road, south side of Ford Road, west of Hicks Road. Ancient Herbs LLC. This is a public hearing again. Administration?
Thank you. Okay. The subject property here, it's outlined in yellow on your screen. It comprises of about 2.75 acres. It's currently zoned I2. That's our, I2, general industrial. It is currently developed with a 29,000 square foot industrial building, currently used as a tool and die shop. I have the elevation drawing here, RNA Tools. The petitioner proposes to locate a marijuana micro business in a portion of this space that's about 3,000 square feet. A micro business is a marijuana business that can essentially grow up to 300 plants. It can also buy marijuana plants, buy and sell edibles, concentrates, vaping cartridges, and process any plants that are grown on site. The business the business plan as introduced does not initially intend to grow plants. However, the business owner is incorporating in their site plan and floor plan design a small grow area of about 12 by 24. This grow area consistent with the requirements of both the state and the city's marijuana business ordinance require an odor control system, which is being introduced and proposed here as part of the grow operation. Some adjacent businesses and their zoning property to the north across the street from Ford Road is zoned I1 light industrial and is developed by US Verathane. It's a manufacturer for automotive parts. Property to the south is zoned I2, general industrial, developed by Detroit Forest Products. That's a wood distributor. Property to the east is zoned I2, general industrial, and is undeveloped. There's also the railroad tracks there. You can see it on the screen. And finally, property to the west is Zone CB4, Vehicle Service. That's a vacant building formerly occupied by the Radiator Hospital. The future land use designation for the site is also industrial. Getting to some specifics about the site itself and the existing site plan and some of the operations here. The site is currently accessed by 2 full-service driveways. They're on frontage road. That's the road under the Ford Road underpass area, and it's only accessed off of frontage road there. For parking, there's 1 off-street parking space required per every 500 square feet of gross floor area attributable to the grow operation and the processing operation. And there is 1 off-street parking space required for every 100 square feet for the retail operation. So when you do that calculation, the plan requires 37 parking spaces, and that is being fully complied with. Proposes 37 parking spaces. The marijuana business ordinance does not allow any automobile bays for shipping, receiving, and things of that nature to face onto adjacent roadways, and there are none that face adjacent roadways on this site. The site contains a 6-foot high screening fence along the south side of the site to screen the adjacent industrial properties. There's no residential properties here directly adjacent to it. An additional 5-foot wide landscaping area, you may have seen it on your site plan, is proposed along frontage road that includes evergreen trees, shrubs, and other ornamental trees. It will spruce up the area, and the site already complies with the zoning ordinance, so this will exceed those standards. The existing building is constructed with a brick material. There is metal paneling for accent material throughout the building. You can kind of see it there on top here. The building portion occupied by the micro business will utilize an EFS material over CMU blocks. I should have pointed this out, but the micro business is going in the northeast corner of the building here. So facing it, it will be over here. That's from frontage road there. Site lighting and drainage, they're all existing and are provided in accordance with both engineering requirements and the zoning ordinance requirements. The proposed industrial classification of micro business use is compatible with the existing uses and zoning, all of which are industrial. The off-street parking and access, as mentioned earlier, is provided in conformance with the zoning ordinance, and so are site screening and landscaping. There's a variety of regulatory measures in the marijuana business ordinance to provide the city a means to control any nuisances or to generally control the establishment if any of those nuisances arise. We are recommending approval subject to a variety of conditions listed in your staff report. I believe the petitioner slash business owner who is here tonight is aware of all of those conditions, but I'd like to read them on the record for your knowledge and for his knowledge as well. Number 1, the facility must employ a facility-wide odor control plan designed for proper ventilation in the event that the business does evolve or transition into a grow operation. And an odor control plan was provided to you and to the city. A security plan that complies with the marijuana business ordinance must be submitted to the planning department and approved by the police department. That was also submitted to both departments. The marijuana business licensee shall enter into a legally binding community benefits agreement. The community benefits agreement basically details voluntary services or actions that the business owner will be providing to the city. The licensee was provided with this benefits agreement and will be turning it in shortly before the city council meeting. It's a requirement to have executed before the city council meeting. Number 4, continued compliance with all local and state laws and rules, including the Westland Marijuana Business Ordinance. Number 5, all signing and advertising must comply with the Marijuana Business Ordinance, so it can't say things like weed and THC and all that other type of stuff. And finally, number 6, hours of operation to the public are limited from between the hours of 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. Again, as mentioned, the owner is in the audience, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'd like to have the petitioner rise and approach the podium.
Hello, I'm Greg Raymond.
Hi, Greg. Did you have anything to add to the administration's presentation?
Well, just appreciate the considering this. I'm going to do my best to make this a win-win situation for the city and for my employees. And I understand the responsibility that comes with a license, and I'm willing to take on that with the community benefits as well.
Thank you very much. If I can have you take a nearby seat, we're going to, this is a public hearing, so I'm going to be asking for citizens' comments, and then we'll bring you back up to have the commission ask you some questions. I'm sure we have a few. Is there anybody on my right that would like to speak on this matter? Recognizing the gentleman in the back.
Good evening. My name is Dave Borlis. I own the property at 139 Ford Road, which is right next door. I don't really have a complaint of the business and him expanding it into the weed business, but I do have a question of logic with the city of Westland. For 3 years, there's been a proposal with the city of Westland through a company that proposed to buy my building, invest in building onto the building, and basically investing about $2 to $2.25 million into it in the city of Westland, and they met all the requirements at the time. The city of Westland did not approve it, and they even sent it up to, I want to say, to a state law or state court of some kind. And I don't know where it's at this point, but these people have been doing it for 3 years, trying to get in there, and to invest $2 or $2.25 million into that location, I just don't understand the rationale of the city of Westland. But I'm not complaining because he's got to do his business and he wants to survive as well, but I just don't understand the rationale.
So does your comment relate in any way, shape, or form to this gentleman's proposal?
Well, I don't understand how the licensing is done through the city of Westland.
Okay.
When that licensing was, they met all the requirements, they did the EPA thing and all of that stuff, and they met all the requirements, and yet they didn't approve that one, but now they're approving one right next door, which doesn't make any sense to me with very little investment.
If I may have you pause your comments. Administration, are you familiar with this matter?
Yeah, I'd like to respond to the gentleman since he's here and came out.
Very briefly,
Sure.
but I'm sure that it's going to culminate in that he needs to speak with you, not during our meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, it doesn't really pertain to this.
Keep your comments brief.
Sure. So there is pending litigation with the person who wanted to purchase your property and open a co-located business, which is different than this specific license operation that this gentleman has been awarded and is requesting approval of today in terms of special land use. So I can't get into the legalese too much, and honestly, I don't know where that stands in court. The final thing I'd say is that was a completely different business model and an entirely different procedure that the city went through to issue licenses to the winners. And there were several people who did not receive licenses, some of which sued, and it sounds like the people who wanted to purchase your building were one of those individuals. That's all I have on that matter. And sir, I'd be happy to talk to you offline. I have a business card if you want to come over here and I can drop it.
I mean, I'd be interested in hearing the answer. I mean, it just doesn't make logical sense to me, that's all. Even for the city of Westland, not even just, that's
Sir,
nothing to
with
do me.
respect, this is a matter that does not relate to this petition before the board. Please contact the administration separately to address your concern.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time
Try and get one in
and
your
your attention.
card,
Anybody on my left wish to speak on this matter? Seeing none from the audience, if I can have you rise back to the podium, we'll proceed to the commission. We'll start with on my left. Anybody on my left like to comment? Mr. Swokas.
Really impressed with the level of detail that you went into with the security plan and also with the ventilation plan. My question is, of course, we know here we're in summer, we know our power grids are aging. Will you have an independent, like say maybe a gas power generator or some sort of generator to keep your ventilation system operating and your security system operating? Should there be a power failure at your facility?
We have in our plans a small generator for backup that will last a few hours. It's not something long-term, but we have an emergency backup plans in our site plan, I guess.
Okay, so I guess my concern, and this is just a concern, if it's only a few hours, how do you protect your facility then? Say, like, I don't know if you remember back in, was it 2003 when we had the power grid that failed and we were out for several days, or even sometimes we've had areas in communities in Western Wayne County that have been out for several days, et cetera. How do you protect your business then to make sure that, since you have to have, the security cameras and all that stuff, how do you follow the letter of the law then if your generator is not going to keep operating beyond the several hours?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that unattended. It'll give us a couple hours to get over there and do what we have to do to keep it running. But I think we could look into doing a gas generator maybe to keep it as a backup as well. That's something we can definitely look at.
Yeah, because for me, I'm just saying for your protection, just because of, we're subject to anything. I know that, you just want to protect that investment, and of course, we like to think that everybody's, not trying to, mess with a business or whatever, but to protect your investment in the city, you just want to be certain, because unfortunately, shopping malls, all kinds of things, you see things every day on the news where people are breaking into malls, they're breaking into banks, they're breaking into all kinds of things, and just to protect yourself, and especially with something with a marijuana facility, I know that, I hear things around the country where some cities like us, particularly like in Colorado and in Oregon, I believe that they've made it statutorily required that your generator can go for a minimum of 96 hours. And I know that that's not the case here in Michigan, but I just want to protect your investment, because I know that what you're doing is you're bringing something to do some good things for the city. And then just my other question is pertaining to the community benefits. What kind of community benefits do you anticipate that you would potentially provide to the city? Like, when you have to make that plan, would it be like sponsoring baseball teams or helping out with seniors, needing their yards break? What kind of things do you envision?
Well, we've talked about a lot of different things, food trucks, stuff like that, working with basically a food kitchen, helping people that maybe go to a food pantry once a week. There's a local one that we've partnered up with, and we're sponsoring with to, they do every Thursday, they do a pickup for a food pantry, and we're going to be part of that.
Great, I like that, I think that's good. It's always good when you give back to the community, and I think it always makes you feel good, not only as a citizen, but as a business, to do something in that. But I think your plan was quite thorough, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone on my right like to speak? Recognizing Commissioner Richards.
I just have one question. What made you pick that particular area? Because when I went down there, it was just creepy to me.
Yeah, that building has been owned by my family since 1968.
Okay.
We've had a tool and die shop there forever, at least 50 years. We're actually almost 80 years we've been in business. My grandfather started it. So the property, the business has kind of gone downhill because a lot of stuff went to China as far as the automotive industry. So the zoning got changed in the area. So, we're just trying to play the cards we were dealt. And so we thought we'd, take a chance and invest in this.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody additionally on my right? Recognizing Commissioner Hopkins.
Is for the existing employees that you have there. You're running a press, right? Correct?
Yes, we're down to 5 employees. We had 50 at one point. Most of my people are in their 60s now, so 2 more are retiring this year. We've tried to keep the business going. We haven't replaced these people, but there's about 3 or 4 left that will still be part of the tool shop as long as I can keep it running.
I see. Will you be doing any concentrates at this location?
They'll be selling, we won't be doing any of that, what do they call, processing there. We'll be buying it and selling
So no
products.
blasting?
No.
Okay. Have you taken any initiatives to kind of separate the 2 businesses as far as security is concerned for the respective, the rest of the employees that you do have left there? Are they going to be safe?
Oh, for sure. Basically, we split the building into 3 pieces. Separate entrances, separate video cameras. Obviously, if someone's 21, they could walk around to the front and buy something from this dispensary, but most of my people are older in age, and maybe they do the gummies, I'm not sure, but everybody has their own aches and pains. But I don't think it's going to be an issue. Like I said, there's only a few people left. I'm going to be hiring probably close to 30 people if everything works out well. Not for the tool and die, but for the dispensary.
Do you have a 200-foot earth press in that building?
A 200, excuse me, a what? A 200-ton?
Do you have an earth press in that building?
We have 3 or 4 presses, tonnage presses. We have when you say earth press, what do you mean?
Don't you have a press in there that goes almost 200 feet into the earth?
Oh, no. Well, I don't know. I guess it goes like 10 feet, 12 feet into the earth.
Is there any seismic type of thing that happens when you guys are pressing?
You can feel a vibration in that portion of the building, but the building was built in 3 different stages. So the offices are one stage, and then there's another warehouse in between, and then in the very back are the presses, and you will get a vibration on occasion. But they're all in pits that are 12 feet deep. So they have their own foundations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there any additional questions on my right? Any on my left? Seeing none, a motion's in order. Recognizing Ruby Richards.
I move to close out and waive normal rules for case number 0954C, special land use approval for marijuana micro business at 39127 Ford Road, south side of Ford Road, west of Hicks Road, and send to, with recommendation, sent to City Council with recommendation that this petition be forwarded with a recommendation for granting special land use approval contingent upon departmental requirements and recommendations and subject to the following conditions that were earlier mentioned.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? Motion by Richards, second by Stashow. Roll call, please.
Okay, this is a roll call vote to recommend approval with conditions listed on the record of case number 0954C. Folks?
Yes.
Hobbs? Yes. Hopkins?
Yes.
Rappaport?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
Rounds?
And Statcha.
Yes, that was an abstain by Rounds, correct? Okay. Stachow
Yes.
and Swokus.
Yes.
The motion is approved.
Thank you.
I hate to ask this, Chair. Could we get a reason on the record for the abstention, please?
I've been made aware that it's a abstention based on ethical grounds.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now calling item number 5, items number 3 and 4 having been withdrawn. Unless there is a verbal objection to their consideration, they'll be skipped over with no further discussion. Chair hears none. Moving on to item number 5, case number 2267, land division and combination at 5967 North Dowling. Administration, please.
Okay, thank you, Chair. The subject property here is zoned R5 Single Family Residential. It's developed by a single family dwelling. The city asked the property owner of 5967 North Dowling to file a request for a land division and combination in order to properly amend the city's plat map to be consistent with the Wayne County Court's decision pertaining to a private civil lawsuit between the petitioner and the neighboring property owner at 5945 North Dowling Street. The city received the Wayne County Circuit Court's paperwork and reached out to the property for her to submit the documents requesting the land division along with the survey showing the changes made by the court. If you like, Mary can detail briefly the facts of the civil lawsuit. The proposed change is essentially 1.2 feet from her property to the neighboring property. And the planning department is recommending approval of that. Your survey shows the existing conditions and the proposed conditions. Again, that 1.2 feet is sort of coming off this south piece over here. Happy to answer any questions, and Mary, perhaps you can give us a little history of the civil lawsuit, just briefly. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Mary Beecher, and I bought 5967 North Dowling on February 7th, 2022. And the seller told me there was no encroachments. And also the seller told me there was no pit bulls next door. Well, I moved there, and there were 2 pit bulls. One's extremely large, very large, and there was a very small 4-foot fence. And his height, when he stands on his hind legs, it's way above it. So I went to upright fence, and I hired him to put in a 6-foot fence so that the dog couldn't get out. The dog is growling at me all the time, and I have a very small 9-year-old dog they would just eat him alive. So I went to upright fence, and I told him what happened, and he said he wanted a land boundary survey, so I went to Gregory Ash in Plymouth, and I got a land boundary survey. And he said I had a little problem, that their driveway the asphalt encroached on the land that I'd purchased. And So now I'm paying taxes on land I can't use. So I'm hoping that and so Gregory Ash came back, and, well, I sued. I took it to court to see what a judge would say. I came down to City Hall to see what documents there were regarding the driveway, and there's no documents that you guys found for me at City Hall. Either way, the driveway doesn't exist as far as City Hall records are concerned, as it was explained to me. So I went to court, and the other side said, well, you know, it was like this all along, and I've only been there since 2022, and I don't have any documents to show them. So they won it back by adverse possession. But now I'm in the position that I can't use the land, and I'm paying the taxes on it. So, so now I'm at this stage where I'd like it to go to the Westland City Assessor's Office, if you please.
Thank you very much. This is not a public hearing, but if there is anybody in the audience, this is your opportunity to speak. Anybody on my right? Would you like to be recognized, sir?
It has nothing to do with the subject here. Is that okay?
No, I'm afraid not. I'll attempt to address you before we conclude our agenda. Anybody on my left? Seeing none. To the commission. Anybody on my right? Anybody on my left? Seeing none. A motion is in order. Recognizing Commissioner Swilkus.
I move that we close out case 2267, the land division and combination at 5967 North Dowling, west side of Dowling, south of Stacy, to comply with the order of the court. And I don't know if do we need to waive normal rules?
No, this is not
Okay. So, I'll just move that we approve it and forward it to City Council with a recommendation for approval.
Support.
Motion by Swilkus, support by Richards. Roll call, please.
Roll call vote to recommend approval of case number 2267. Folks?
Yes.
Hobbs? Yes. Hopkins? Yes. Rappaport?
Yes?
Richards? Yes. Rounds? Yes. Stachow?
Yes.
And Swilkus.
Yes.
Your motion is approved.
So that, as far as we're concerned, we've sent your issue along to the City Council. They'll consider it. I'm pretty sure if you have any questions that need to be answered about the process moving forward, the administration can assist you.
Okay.
Good luck, ma'am. I'm an attorney. I do practice in that field, and it does sound very, very interesting to me, so I'm trying to keep my nose out of your business.
Okay.
But good luck to you.
Do I have to appear before City Council as well?
As I said, the administration can help you with next
Okay.
steps.
We will follow up with all the petitioners that were here tonight and inform them of when they'll be on the City Council, which is on the 20th, I believe, of this month at 7 p.m. here.
Okay.
Okay?
Do I have to wait for this gentleman? Is he here for my stuff?
You're all set.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, if you can keep your comments under 2 minutes, I'll recognize you.
Absolutely. You want me to come up here?
Please.
I'm late to the party. I thought this meeting started at 7, not 6.
Your name,
I'm just
please?
interested what was proposed.
Your
right
name,
across
please,
the-
sir.
What?
Your name, please, for the record.
I'm so sorry. Thomas Ball.
Hi, Thomas. On what issue did you want to be heard?
The proposal for the land usage, I guess, right across from City Hall here on Warren Road. Was that on the docket tonight?
That was not on the docket for tonight, sir. I understand that that's scheduled for last I heard that was scheduled for a deli?
I have an agenda if you'd like to come take a look at it. There was nothing across the street.
So bad. That having concluded our agenda items, thank you very much, sir. We moving on to commissioners' comments before the adjournment item, starting over there with Mr. Rounds.
Greetings, my words will be short. I just want to wish all of the mothers happy Mother's Day this month.
Thank you very much. Our very new commissioner, Ms. Hobbs.
Hello, I just wanted to say hi. I'm going to be serving on Planning Commission for the next 3 years. Happy to be here. I just received my master's in urban planning on Sunday, so I'm excited to put it to good use.
Mr. Hopkins.
I just wanted to welcome Commissioner Hobbs. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Recognizing Vice Chair Ruby Richards.
I also want to welcome Commissioner Jessica, and I also want to say that I'm glad that we had a lot of stuff on the agenda this time instead of one item.
Yeah,
So
it's
hopefully
nice.
it'll keep coming like this.
Thank you very much. Going down to the other side, Commissioner Stashow.
Yes, also very happy to have you, Ms. Hobbs. And I'd also like to say thank you to those businesses that are continuously investing in Westland. And this is definitely a growing city, and we look forward to additional businesses as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Deborah Fox, please.
Yes, welcome. And it's good to see another lady so that we kind of even things out here. And congratulations on your degree. This was a good meeting. A lot of good things are happening in Westland, so I hope to see more things like this in our upcoming meetings.
Thank you very much. Mr. Swokas.
First, I want to say welcome to Jessica. I'm not going to be so formal because I've already talked with her, and I'm excited about the experience that you're going to bring to the commission. New face, new perspective, and I'm happy about that. Also wanted to recognize our esteemed deputy mayor is in the audience tonight. Thank you for coming out of your busy day. I know you probably have a day like I do most of the time, so thank you for coming. And then our newly appointed Councilman Hornbuckle, welcome again. Hopefully you'll bring us some treats or something next time, since you used to be on this commission, so we'll be looking for that. Also, I just wanted to say thank you to Mo again and Nicole. You know, I don't think we really realize how hard our departments work, and especially with everything that's on their plate and all of the thing that's going on in the city. I believe planning probably works harder than probably any office, maybe even including up to the mayor's office level, because there's so much there, and we know that some people can be very testy citizens when they don't like something or they don't understand anything, but I've always heard from various people that have come through that they've always been treated with great professionalism by the office. And like I said, I'm probably Nicole's biggest fan, but I appreciate everything you do, and I appreciate everybody on the commission, and hope everybody has a good Mother's Day. I thank everybody for their wishes for Orthodox Easter we just had this weekend, and I know Chairman Rappaport had Passover last week, so now that we've got past the spring holidays, let's bring on summer and nice warm weather.
Thank you very much. I'll fight you over the biggest fan of Nicole. That's a position I'll fight over. Anything from the administration?
I heard Commissioner Richards say she doesn't want one item agenda. I don't think we've had that in a while, and be careful what you wish for, because we have 6 agenda items next month. So pack your sleeping bag. And we won't see each other until June, so happy Memorial Day. Commissioner Swokas, thank you for those kind words. And I also want to thank the mayor's office for staffing us fully for the first time in I don't know how long. But I know Deputy Mayor was heavily involved in that, so again, thank you. That's all I got. See you guys next month. Before
I make my comments and move to adjournment, I would like to note that we do have in our audience Deputy Mayor Godbout and new, I'm sorry?
Copycat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you beat me to it. And our esteemed former colleague that has recently been appointed to the city council. Would you gentlemen like to speak at all? Great. I also would like to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I wanted to apologize today. Today I've been a little bit scattered. It's not been my best day, but maybe I'm reeling for efficiency from last night's city council, and I certainly meant no offense to you, ma'am. Deanna.
No offense.
That nasty.
I just wanted to move us along, and we have plenty of time to ask him all those questions, and I realized I broke my own rule, and I'm super sorry about that. Yeah, bad me. As I said, I have a lot on my mind. Yesterday was the. I wanted to mention that yesterday was the Yom HaShoah, which is the commemoration of the impact of the Holocaust, and once again, it's always a very trying time for me. I have a lot of deep-seated feelings about the Holocaust and the aftermath, which of course is not uniquely a Jewish experience. Certainly, tragedies like that affect us all and lessen us all the time. And of course, it highlights the current events of today, when there are sufferings that are brought about across the globe. It's just, and some other stuff, but that definitely was weighing very heavily on me today, and I do apologize if I was a little off. That being said, I'd like to brighten everything up. Welcome to our new member. I'm looking forward to the next 3 years. I'd love to get to know you, know things about you. I want to stalk you, but certainly it would be nice to know what your background is and how we can assist. Please join us on the 18th. Have you been made aware? We've got a training seminar scheduled, and we'd love to have you there. Also, administration, if we can, I missed my opportunity for the new ZBA member, to speak to the new ZBA member. If we can make sure that she gets reached out to for participation on the 18th as well. Christina Worm. And congratulations to her. I understand that things are going well on the ZBA.
Very well.
Thank you. I think maybe moving forward, I'd like you to either to take initiative to update us on the activities of the ZBA, or we can have a discussion and add that to the agenda as a regular item.
One problem that I can say, let me rephrase it. It's not a problem. It was
Fort fence?
Yes, a zoning ordinance that wasn't followed, and I think that it was voted upon, and in my opinion, at this point, it shouldn't have been. It had to do the difference between a 6-foot fence and an 8-foot fence, and in a residential area. So I think down the road, we are going to possibly have a problem. Maybe not, but residential areas do not have 8-foot fences. So needless to say, that's my report that I had, but it did succeed in the vote and approval. I just, I hope that, like I said, down the road, we won't have problems with it.
Thank you so much, Deanna. With that, unless there's anything additional, adjournment is in order.
So move.
Adjournment is moved and supported. All those in favor, please indicate so. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.